Whoa, Mojang? What did the squid just do in my face? Oh my god. Minecraft 1.22 really is going to be that update. What up, besties? Minecraft Live season is officially here. With the big show right around the corner, it's time we have a little bit of fun. I've seen this little theory connecting the word Nautilus to a potential fishing overhaul. Today we'll be taking a look at that theory, taking a look at recent updates, seeing if anything has changed when it comes to fishing, and, well, just taking a look at fishing as a whole and seeing if potentially, maybe we're due for an update soon. Sit back and let's have a little fun. Ah, yes, fishing in Minecraft. Everyone's favorite, most fun, thrilling activity to do. Like, after a long day of chopping the trees, building the blocks, making the farms, you know, it's nothing quite as nice and relaxing as going to the local Minecraft body of water, throwing your rod, dropping your line, and, you know, just like fishing all day long, all night long. You lose track of time. It's so thrilling and enthralling. And what am I even talking about? This system is so ancient, so old. The last time it got an update, an exciting update, was actually a nerf when they basically broke auto fishers, and now it's been 5 years, maybe a little bit more, since we had any other change to this thing too. So for our fun round of clue sleuthing today, I started with a little bit of research. Fishing. This stuff is ancient. The devs know that the community does not like it. It needs an update. And updates. When was the last time that fishing actually had anything change? So I don't know about you guys, but at least for me, it's like a core memory when the devs changed to fishing and auto fishers and how loot mechanics worked. It was like Guide Season 2 world. I had an AFK auto fish farm. I used to love those things, and yeah, it feels like it was just yesterday, but actually, the last time that fishing received an update was in Snapshot 20W21A. This was all the way back in the Nether update era, May 20th, 2020, and the update was simply a minor loot table adjustment, taking lily pads and changing them from being treasure and putting them inside of the junk tab. Side note, not gonna lie, I really miss the olden days of Minecraft when update themes weren't so concrete and we could have random fishing changes inside of an update all about fire. I really thought drops were meant to just be about the loose updates, not having concrete themes again, but well, we've come full circle. Other than that, a couple of weeks earlier, the changes went down that I was talking about having to do with auto fishers and calculation and all that kind of jazz. Now, to make this video, I went back and did a little bit of diving. I was trying to find where specifically the developers have acknowledged that fishing is an out-of-date mechanic and definitely needs a little bit of a facelift, but I couldn't find it. But they definitely have said it. But I guess, if they haven't said it somewhere, they definitely know it. Look at a game like Stardew Valley. Oh my gosh, I just started playing it again, and fishing is so fun. I could literally actually spend days fishing, grinding it out, getting that cold hard cash, and then you come to Minecraft, and this mechanic right here is just so old and literally so boring. Like, I don't know of a single person who actually enjoys to sit and fish inside of their Minecraft world. At the least, just speeding up this mechanic slightly would make it a little bit more enjoyable. At the most, some sort of total rework, overhaul, update to the system. Next up, we have to talk about leaks, at least the big one. You have to have heard about it, one of the most reliable leakers of this current era in Minecraft. Well, recently, like we talked about in a very similar way to how they did things when they were leaking the Spring to Life drop, and were 100% correct. One word and one word only. We got Nautilus. Now, in this video right here, we already speculated a ton about how Nautilus could maybe be an ocean update, a drowned update, something to do with it, maybe even a brand new Nautilus mob coming to the game. That jazz is pretty crazy, pretty wild, and in my opinion, super interesting, so check out that video next if you haven't quite yet. After making that initial dive into the Nautilus leak, what it could potentially mean, it was pointed out to me that, wait a second, there could definitely be another big mechanic at play here. We might already have a bunch of hints for it, teasers too, and little updates that, I guess you never know, could be breadcrumbs to a Nautilus shell fishing update. Alright, so I guess for starters here, we'll go ahead and start with the leaker. They were always cryptic. They called fireflies coming to the game, but instead of just saying fireflies, they put the 2 emoji. They called the pig update, but instead of saying pigs are getting new variants, they put a pig emoji. So usually they're pretty on the dot when it comes to these updates, but also cryptic at the same time. The Nautilus shell, how it's connected to fishing, well, did you know that you could actually fish the Nautilus shell up from fishing just like, oh my god, look, I got a fish. Yay. Wait a second. You can actually fish this thing up, right? Yeah, right. I thought so. Next up, Mojang, how they like to do things. With these drops, they've been seemingly taking a look at different areas of the game, maybe the forest and its generation. They've been taking a look at different areas of the game and trying to facelift it, all the while adding in new mechanics and features as well. So for, I guess, a little bit more backing, that a fishing update could totally be on the table. Fishing's old, it's out of date, they know it. Totally one of those things that could absolutely be on the table for an update in the future. And I think it definitely is slated for an update at some point. Okay, so, fishing. Mojang's posted about it a tiny bit recently. I'm not crazy. Of course, it could mean nothing, but also, you never know. So we'll start with, I guess, maybe some of the loosest beans here. The community tab over on YouTube. They daily post them. They're on that grind. Within the past little bit of time, from time to time, little mentions of things that tie to fishing have been made. I'm gonna keep it 100. Hey, I don't think it's necessarily much of a thing on its own, but it's a thing. Also, do you guys remember like a couple of months ago when they just randomly celebrated the anniversary of the update Aquatic and have not celebrated any other update anniversaries either? I wonder, man. So that's a thing. I don't know if it's much of one, but it's interesting. Moving on to the Chase the Skies drop. As we know, as they've shown to do it time and time again for like literally over a decade now, Mojang sometimes, they like to be a little bit cryptic, specifically with some of the pictures that they like to post. Chase the Skies drop, obviously all about the most happy cast in the entire game, but also we had some other changes inside of the update too, including this new music toggle thing that can pop up in your world. To show off the music toggle, player harmoniously fishing in the open ocean, a music toast is popping up on the screen. I don't know, man. The connection is a little bit loose here, but they could have used any screenshot to show off this music thing, but they went with fishing. Maybe, just like maybe, very, very cryptically, they were teasing using the most boring mechanic of all time earlier on in the year because they were going to come back around to it. Not too sure if I really take that as a hint on its own, but it is totally on par with how cryptic Mojang likes to be and how they sometimes like to put future things right under our noses. Instead here, if we were looking for little hints and clues, the real ones come from what pops up in the game and sometimes what breaks in the game as well. We've talked about it many times before. We're not going to talk very much more about it today, but for every single drop since the Bundles of Bravery update, well, we've been able to find little bits of code, changes, or fixes relating to things that end up relating to, well, the next update. Also, oftentimes, if the devs are updating something behind the scenes for a future update, well then right now, things actually in the game that might relate to that future update, they tend to sometimes get a little bit buggy and might end up breaking in a snapshot. We can use both of these pieces of information to search even further for clues. When it comes to our fishing update potentially being a thing, probably the biggest sign, or at least one of the bigger signs here, no pun intended, has to do with the bigger line that the fishing rod has gained over the course of the past year. On Bedrock Edition, Vibrant Visuals, Non-Vibrant Visuals, Java Edition, the fishing rod line, the mechanics have been changed. The line has been redrawn this past year. The goal was to make the line a little bit more visible, you know, so all three players that use fishing, yeah, they can actually see the fishing rod now. Yeah. Again, I'm sure all three of you who use that feature are really, really excited. Now, I could go back pretty far and take a look at different changes that were smaller, maybe technical things having to do with fishing. You know, those technical hints and clues that we like to take a look for when having fun with these updates. But we'll only go back to the Spring to Life update for now because that's this year. Fish model and variant customization. This stuff was expanded a huge time. It was made way more customizable and expandable inside of the Spring to Life drop. Fish models, one of the biggest things here when it comes to this fishing mechanic has always been, wait a second, what if we actually add more fish to the game? And while adding more fish to the game, if we're going to keep this mechanic the same, instead of just random bubbles on the surface, what if fish actually swam up to the bobber? Well, at least when it comes to adding more different fish into the game. Right now, at least under the tropical fish grouping, but this grouping could always be expanded to just fish in general. It's way easier now. On top of that, in the same update, the devs went ahead and made custom tooltips for buckets of tropical fish actually possible. Intriguingly, also inside of the same update, they made it so you could individualize these bucket textures. So, for example, you could have an axolotl bucket that has the actual color of the axolotl on the bucket. Like, you know, like if you dump out a yellow axolotl from the bucket, maybe it'll actually be yellow. Also, while talking about bugs here, it seems like these buckets have completely broken, and every time you use this bucket of axolotl, it's always going to be pink now, which is definitely not how it used to be. Now, another interesting thing that Mojang has paid a little bit of mind to over the course of this year is water mobs. Not only have they been bugged, unbugged, rebugged, and then bug fixed all over again, but we have quite a bit of attention to detail and polishing being done to water mobs. Whether this one ties to more so a broader water update as a whole or a fishing update, I mean, you could decide, but we'll take a look at it. Java Edition Chase the Skies update. In one of the slightly more confusing changes inside of the Chase the Skies update, at least for me for some reason, the location for the glow squid, guardian, horse rabbit, which aren't really water mobs right now, and then pufferfish mobs has been relocated. I think, at least for the most part here, this is an adjustment to every single water mob that, like, actually makes sounds in the game and where those sounds are going to be placed. Because meanwhile, the other water mobs that make sounds, well, I think they only really make sounds when you take them out of the water, which is kind of a different thing. It makes me wonder if they could actually maybe add sounds to, like, the salmon, the cod, and other fish that are swimming, right? Inside of Chase the Skies drop, we also randomly had quite a few fishing bobber fixes going down in that update that had nothing to do with anything else inside of the update. Nowadays, if you take a look at the bug fixing that goes down over at Mojang, there seems to be a little bit of a common theme, if you will, where aside from critical bugs that are like bugs that absolutely need to get fixed, the devs will take a look at something specifically and go around and fix that specific thing up and polish it. So, for example, in Chase the Skies, they took a look at the Woodland Mansion, they fixed it, got a little bit of polishing work going down with some of the rooms that were just not generating for like a decade, and then at the same time, took a look at some Evoker stuff and Vex stuff, and smoothed that out too. Side note, oh my god, this is a beautiful location for a home. Dude, nice pick. Of course, sometimes these bug fixes are just that, bug fixes, but I do find it odd to just circle back around to bugs that have been in the game for quite some time, and I guess, hey, though, I mean, a bug fix is always nice, right? Also, it seems like the bobbers attached to some mobs a little bit differently now, too. This might be an undocumented change, or I'm just literally crazy. Now, our fun little fishing polishing is going down up until this very moment right here where we speak. Well, yeah, basically. Inside of the new update, the Copper Age, there have been some fixes relating to fishing being done yet again. So that's just Java. On the flip side of things, Bedrock, well, actually, action has been going down over there as well, but maybe a little bit less. So for starters here, we have the change that we talked about for Java, having to do with the thickness and rendering of the fishing rod line. But on top of that, the fishing rod inside of the Spring to Life drop, well, they fixed some bugs with this stuff that have been in the game for quite some time. On top of that, they took a look at pufferfish and fixed those things up and improved them. And again, these were some bugs that have been in the game for a long time, like since 2021. Now again, maybe kind of pointing towards a greater water or ocean update as a whole, but also inside of this update, liquids were updated, and we have this new flowing water updating and flowing lava, but more so flowing water being added to the game. There was also tons of other water polishing, fixing, and smoothing going down as well. 1.21.80, which was a little bit more of a minor Bedrock Edition update, well, it had some interesting new goals that were added to the game, including Minecraft Behavior Float Wander. This has to do with entities wandering around and navigating through the water. Very clearly a tag that is specifically all about water mobs and how they behave in the game. Our connections here, they may be a little bit loose, but there are quite a few. In my honest opinion, what I think is most likely is that yes, possibly fishing is getting an update, but it will only just be a component of maybe a water-themed update or something like it. The system is old, out of date, and a little bit boring, but I don't think that even with a gigantic overhaul to it, will it ever become the main system used inside of this game. Instead, this seems like some kind of mechanic that Mojang would update inside of an update maybe already themed about water, and then take a look at fishing and say, hey, what about we go ahead and make that a little bit more fun to use as well? I'm sure the people would love that. What do you think? In this upcoming Nautilus update, whatever it is, do you think that fishing will end up getting a little bit of an update? After all, I mean, if we want to talk about loot when it comes to fishing, this stuff has been done with loot tables for a long time, so updating this stuff and changing it, it's actually pretty easy for Mojang to do. At the end of the day, I guess here, no matter what, fishing has become more polished than ever before this year. So that's a thing, and I think it's at least a little bit cool too. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been me, Waddles. For even more videos, tap like, subscribe, and check out a video on the end card. Adios, muchachos.